Number in his name. We ain't the same. What the heat? Shit, I been through the Alright, Salon Reserve with the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, and Command Journey out. Since 1969, we've been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible. Alright, we're located here at 5261 Delmar Boulevard, Suite A, and that's in St. Louis, Missouri, 63108. Alright. One second. Check. Listen to trying to make sure everything is going all right, because yeah, that's a lot these seem to be having. That's like you said, you check your feed, see if your feed is coming up better, because mine is frozen. Check to see if I'm even really good at the sound. Alright, so it's looking like the picture might be frozen a little bit right now. But we got audio. Let's see if we can get that fixed. Is it looking to our viewers or not? We got any?
Froze.
It's froze. Count. Salaki, give me just 1 second to see if I can get this technical difference. It's like we go. Well, I'm gonna try this one little thing. See if we can fix it. If not, you know what I mean. We can go ahead and get the class re-uploaded on the Sharpen the Sword YouTube page right after this class is over. If for some reason the internet is not going to cooperate, we're just going to make it work, right? And so we're going to do this class, and then they might have to get a clear visual, you know what I mean? It might have to come right after the class is over, because yeah, it seems like it's like that. It just seems like we have. If it doesn't come through clear on the platform that you're looking at it on right now, we would definitely have this again re-uploaded on the Sharpen the Sword Radio YouTube channel. Speaking of which, Sharpen the Sword Radio is going down this and every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. The call-in number is 712-832-8330. The access pin for Sharpen the Sword Radio is 910-1409. Right? Alright. On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Right, we will be having classes right here, again, 5261 Delmar Boulevard, right, Suite A, that's in St. Louis, Missouri, right, and you know, come, see, what we as a people need to understand is we need to not go to a place so it can make us feel good for a couple hours every week. We need to go and learn our history, learn our culture, learn what the Most High actually, you know what I mean, has for us to do and has ordered us to do, right? And that's why we have classes here, you know what I'm saying, 3 days a week. Then we had a Sabbath service, and then we got a radio show. So our people can come in and learn exactly what the Most High requires of us, right? Right, and every third Friday of every month, Commander General Yohana is having a food drive right here in the city of St. Louis, right outside the school at 5261 Delmar Boulevard, right here on the corner of Delmar and Union, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Right. If you got any questions on any of the classes, the radio show, the food drive, or you got any questions in general, right? The number for the ISUPK St. Louis is 314-696-8288. Right? Alright. And we got any. Oh. And let's not forget, you know what I mean, the ISUPK is having we'll be having cookouts, you know what I mean? The upcoming cookouts is on August 26th, right? August 26th through the 28th in Harlem, New York, right? On September 29th to October 1st, we'll be having a cookout in Nashville, Tennessee. October 27th through the 30th, we're going to be having a cookout in Houston. And December 1st through the 4th is a cookout. We having a cookout in Las Vegas, right? If you near any of these cities, you know what I mean, you Black, Hispanic, and Native American, come on out and join your brothers and have, you know, and just have a wonderful time. You know, have the kids run around playing. You know what I mean? You ain't got to worry about nobody pushing, you know, trying to get with your woman. You ain't got, you know what I mean? You can go out and just enjoy the day, right? You ain't got to worry about nobody fighting. You ain't got to worry about, you know what I mean, somebody stealing from you. It's a beautiful time to just be around brothers and sisters. And if you are Black, Hispanic, and Native American, and like I said, you live anywhere near any of these places, again, that's Houston, Nashville, Harlem, and Vegas, right? Make sure you make your way out to the cookouts. And if you got any further questions on the cookouts, you know what I'm saying, you can go to isupk.com and you can get all the information you need. All right. Got any more announcements that you got missed? All right. Alright, so let's hop right into it, right? So, right, it's all these plagues running throughout the earth right now. You know what I'm saying? COVID-19, you know what I mean, that hit. People was real nervous, right? People was stuck in their house. You know what I'm saying? They you know, they wasn't sure if they was gonna live or die, and a lot of them didn't live. You know what I mean? But we have to understand, you know what I mean, these diseases and these plagues come from the Most High. Right? The Most High sent these plagues, right, to the Most High sent these plagues, you know what I mean, to kill, right? He created these, you know, not for them to be nice things, but they're meant to make you understand and make you realize that the Most High God is in control of all things, right? Let me see here. And we have to understand that we need to start following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, right? Because, yeah, you know, they came up with a vaccine for COVID-19, but guess what? You can still catch it, right? You can still die from it, even if you get the vaccine, right? It's still a possibility. Now, yeah, of course, the vaccine reduces the chances, but the whole reason, the whole purpose of this virus even being out there, you know what I'm saying, it's just like, you know what I mean? They want to be, you know, they raise up the Egypt, like, as a culture, right? where it embraced its homosexual side. You know what I'm saying? They embraced what's those words? Hedonistic ways. You know what I mean? In this country and in this world, right? Like you're supposed to accept everything, right? Except for the truth, right? You supposed to accept, you know what I mean? A man can call himself a woman if he feel like it, and that means he can go sleep in the it's like he can go into the bathroom, you know what I'm saying? And be in there with your little girl, like that story Cat brought up, where the YMCA worker, who was a man who called himself a woman, you know what I mean, was sitting in the locker room, just looking at little girls getting changed out of their bathing suits, right? And then they want to get rid of the lady who spoke up and said something about this man sitting there, you know what I mean, staring at these little girls changing their bathing suits, right? And then next, after COVID-19, they thought it was finally going down, and it rose back up again. All of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, monkeypox, you know, which is a disease that's been around for, I think they said they first found out about it in, 1958? But what the Most High did was he made it so that that these outbreaks would happen, and you wouldn't be able to catch them, and you wouldn't be able to stop them in time. Right? And they are seriously destroyed. These are the plagues of Egypt. These are the plagues of the boils, right? And let's read about what happened with monkeypox, you know what I'm saying, in its, we'll call it its earlier phase, you know, this time around, right? It says, in the U.S., the first case in the current outbreak was identified on May 18, 2022, right? As of July 26, 3,591 cases in 46 states, Puerto Rico, and D.C. have been diagnosed. This represents 19% of the 19,188 confirmed global cases, right? So what does that mean? You know what I mean? The Most High, he sent this back just in time, you know what I'm saying, for you to go ahead and have your pride moment, right? You go ahead and have your parties, do what y'all want to do. Be Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Be Egypt, right? Be these places, and you're going to get these plagues, right? Because the Most High is, he's tired of this place, right? Like this kingdom, this society, it's got to go, right? And blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we have to start following the law and statutes and commandments of the Most High God, you know what I'm saying, to escape from these plagues and escape from these punishments, right? Let me get the scripture real quick. Alright, so it's going to be the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and the 21st verse. Right? Yeah, Deuteronomy, 28th chapter, starting at the 21st verse. Yahweh shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off of the land, whither thou goest to possess it. Verse 22. Yahweh shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. See, all these diseases, right? All these these plagues, right? If we follow the law, statutes, and commandments, right, we wouldn't be as at risk for these plagues as we are, right? We carry high rates of being affected by these, you know what I'm saying, these new diseases and these long-lasting chronic diseases, right? Because we decide that we want to be like everybody else and follow their customs, right? We want to go to pride parades, right? And then we gonna start being number one in monkeypox, right? We wanna go be around and be with all these other nations, right? Instead of just being with your own, and then we want to get, and then we want to, then we do that, and that's how we get COVID-19, right? Because, I mean, let's be honest here, right? All of these diseases, right? All of these plagues that the Most High is sending, right? The first affected community is not the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? You'll get this group over here, that group over here, this group over here, but it's not the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But the fact that we want to be with all of these people, right? And we not self-separating, right? And we want to just be one big happy nation with everybody on the face of the earth. Like, that's how we get these diseases, right? If the Most High, if we were holy like the Most High demanded us to be holy, which means separate, we wouldn't expose ourselves to all of these diseases, right? We go back over and go over this verses line by line, right? It says, Yahweh shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, right? That's why we can't get away from it, right? These are punishments for sins, right? Deuteronomy 28, you know what I'm saying, 15 on down, right, are the punishments for not following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, right? And because we don't follow His commandments, because we don't do what He tells us to do and the way He tells us to do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, these things happen. These things are going to happen. We will not be protected, right? But the Most High, when we were in the land of Egypt, right, and we just did what we were told to do, the Most High protected all of us, right? Like the plagues and everything happened to the Egyptians, but they didn't happen to us, right? But they stick to us because we are the Most High's chosen people, and we don't follow His law, statutes, and commandments, right? Keep going until He have consumed thee from off the land. Now, let me hop to this other verse real quick, just to back up exactly what I'm about to say. I'm going to verse 46 in the same chapter, Deuteronomy 28, verse 46, right? And they shall be a sign, and they shall be upon thee for a sign, and upon thy, for a sign and a wonder, and upon thy seed forever, right? So these curses, you know what I'm saying, they don't just happen to us one time in one way. They keep happening as long as you don't follow the laws of the Most High God, right? So when it's talking about how until they have consumed thee from off the land, right? That was our North American, our so-called North American, Native American brothers, the Gadites, the tribe of Gad and Reuben. When, you know what I mean, our oppressors came in and forced them on the Trail of Tears, took all their land, put them on reservations, right? Right, and then when we were in Israel, right, and the Romans decided that, you know what I mean, we don't get to be a country anymore, right? And they just they consumed us off the land there. When Christ was alive, He told You know what I mean? His disciples and the people that was following him and the people that was listening to him. You know what I mean? When you see this happen, flee to the mountains. Why? Because we were about to be consumed off of the land, right? You look around, modern day America, right? And you got Black Wall Street, you got Rosewood, you got Seneca Village. Listen, there was hundreds of times that we set up and we were prosperous and we started to build our wealth, but because we were not following the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, our oppressor drove us off, and that's how we ended up, you know what I mean, in the ghetto, right? That's how we ended up in the barrios and in the reservations, right? Because we did not follow the laws of the Most High God, and we were consumed from off the land, right? Let's keep reading, verse 22. Yahweh shall smite thee with a consumption, right? Let's break down these words real quick, right? We're going to what a consumption is, right? So a consumption, right, is a consumption is like it's cancer, right? It's a wasting disease. It's a disease that basically eats you up and kills you from the inside over a very long period of time. And especially dealing with the lungs, right? Which is in the general chest area, right? Which is why, you know what I mean, two of the cancers that so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans lead is lung cancer and breast cancer. Right in this general area, that consumption is a cancer in this specifically in the chest, right here, right? That's why we, you know what I mean, got these what's that called? High cholesterol, right? Right, because that's a disease that slowly wastes away and thickens and makes the valves, you know what I mean, in your heart deteriorate, right? Let's go to the next one. A fever, we all know what fever is, right? Fever when you it's just like a sickness, you know what I mean? A flu, cold, stuff like that. But we don't continually get them, right? We you know what I mean? And they don't even take statistics on that anymore, right? But you know what I mean? We were some of the hardest people hit, you know what I mean, during the Spanish influenza. Well, not the Spanish influenza. Yeah. When it came over here, right? Actually, let me pull up the numbers. That's just like that. Let's see if I can find it in this real quick so I see it. Let me just try to find this one real quick. I was just reading this article talking about that. Alright, so, yeah, here we go. Alright. by 1918, the medical and public health reports had documented that African Americans suffered a higher morbidity and mortality rate than white people for several diseases. Let's see. The Atlanta Board of Health, for example, reported that in 1900 that the black death rate exceeded that of white death rate by 69%. Right? And this is, again, this article was talking about, you know what I mean, it's like it's labeled race and the 1819 influenza pandemic in the United States. Right? So, like, this is continually going on, right? But our people need to understand and need to wake up to the fact that, you know what I mean, this would not be happening to us if we follow the laws of the Most High God, right? If we follow His laws, statutes, and commandments, right, we wouldn't be having these issues, because this is a sign and a symptom of us being with these other nations. If we are with these other nations, we get sick. And not only do we get sick, the whole world gets sick, because they do things that are against God. Right? That's the whole point. Right? The Most High God did not design, you know what I mean, it's like it. The first time they got into the United States was because of a bunch of people who owned prairie dogs. And they would and the prairie dogs, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Got them sick, and they had and the prairie dogs were carrying the monkeypox. Because monkeypox, just like everything else from the Edomite, you know what I mean, is named out of misdirection, right? Because monkeypox was named monkeypox because they saw monkeys with it, but they knew that the monkeys got it from rodents. So it actually came from rodents, rats. And they named it that way because they saw it happen in a laboratory setting, right? So they were using lab rats, and these rats developed this had this disease, and then they started noticing it develop in the monkeys because the rats and the monkeys had interactions, right? And these things that when we get them are punishments and plagues from the Most High God, right? And when we talk about inflammation, you know what I'm saying? You know, I don't even think I've ever heard of anybody besides the so-called black and Hispanic talking about having gout, right? Having these inflammatory diseases. Why? Because these are things that are prevalent in our community because we don't follow the laws of the Most High God, right? There you go. Right? An extreme burning, right? An extreme burning that's STDs, right? That's what it means by extreme burning, right? Right? The fever, that's cold, that's the flu, right? An extreme burning, that's syphilis, right? That's chlamydia, right? Right? That's your HIV, your AIDS, right? And with the sword, right? Listen, this right here is telling you that the police in your community who killed your children, my children, you know what I mean, our children, they kill us daily, right? They kill our brothers and sisters daily. And the very thing that the situations that they set up, you know, has us killing ourselves. That sword is is a plague to us, right? Why? Because our enemies using it against us. You know, they done drugged and robbed our own brothers to use it against us, right? These things are what is killing us, right? Unless you got a blasting, right? A blasting is blasting is allergies, right? That's allergies. When you have allergies, and biblically it's called a blasting, right? Well, it comes from it comes from blight from crops, right? And then it says and with mildew, right? And of course, mildew is when it's talking about mildew, it's more so talking about how how when you start to get sick, right? You start to get real light. You know what I mean? Your face starts to, when you're close to death, you start to light. You start to look lighter, right? That's what it's talking about. You know what I'm saying? When it's talking about a mildew, mildew is a paleness, right? But you know what I'm saying? These are things we gotta understand. We gotta know that these diseases, right? They're not going away. They're not stopping. They're not slowing down. None of that, because the Most High God will continue to up these diseases and up these plagues until we repent and our King returns. Right? So the only way to avoid this punishment, the only way to avoid getting caught up in it is by serving the Most High God.
Right.
Right? By serving the Most High God, you know what I'm saying? You learn to keep your distance from these other nations. And this is one of the, like I said, this is why he told us to be holy. Being holy means separate. Right? You don't go around these people, you can't catch their diseases. That's just plain and simple. You don't eat like these people. You know what I mean? You don't dress like these people. You don't go where these people go. Then you won't catch the plagues and the diseases that Most High is sending and affecting them. Right? You don't show up to the pride parade, you don't end up with monkeypox. Like, that's how it works. Right? You want to embrace their lifestyles, well, you're going to embrace these curses and these diseases that the Most High got. And every black Hispanic, every so-called black Hispanic and Native American should be rejoicing about these right now. It should be rejoicing. They should be rejoicing. Because these diseases are showing that our King is closer to returning than ever before. Like, it's never been like this before, right? Just pandemic after pandemic and flooding, and you got countries flooding and burning at the same time.
Right.
Like, and they say, oh, and every year they've been saying it more and more. These are stronger than we've ever seen before. We're having earthquakes in places there's never been a recorded earthquake happened before. Oh, this is happening and it's never happened before. That's because Christ is coming back. That's because it's time for Israel to stop loving these other nations,
right,
and love ourselves and come back to our law, statutes, and commandments. Right? Let me get to this next verse real quick. Because, you know what I mean, we gotta understand, you know what I mean, like, these curses, these plagues are a sign, right? They are they're a wake up call, right? And it's something we need to take heed of, right? And not do what we've been doing for so long and playing around with the Most High. Because that's what we doing when we in the Christian church. We playing around with the Most High God. We act like we just tell him what we want to do, and he better make a way for us to do it.
Right.
Right? I want this car. I want this house. Give it to me. I know I ain't got the credit. I know I ain't did nothing to do to get it. I ain't put in no work. I ain't put in no effort. But give it to me. And he gonna do it. Because I'm a prayer warrior and I can get a prayer through that. you playing God like he's some sort of punk.
Right.
Like he's soft. Like he didn't just kill your pastor with COVID-19 because he want to act like he could go lay hands on somebody and he gonna be healed for real. No, you don't know the Most High God. You don't speak for the Most High God, and what you doing is garbage just to get money. You think the Most High God is gonna let you, man? I remember seeing a Christian pastor that was acting like, oh no, we ain't closing. 2 weeks later, Most High took him out. Church closed. Listen, the Most High put COVID-19 in the earth, or one of the reasons was to close all of the churches. And if you left your church open, he took out the pastor.
Damn right.
That's what happened. Right? But the ISUPK stayed open.
Right.
Like that, we didn't stop doing nothing. We started ramping up because it was getting out the way. Let me read a bit of this article real quick. Let's see. The state of Missouri has allocated the St. Louis County Department of Public Health with 1,900 vials of the vaccine used to prevent monkeypox, the county says Thursday. A portion of the doses will be used for close contact of people who had the virus, and the others will be used for those who are at high risk of contracting. The county health department said it will serve as a vaccine hub for the region, and the doses it receives may also be distributed to other parts of the state if it sees an increase in need. Now see, this is, and I said this the other day, right? Monkeypox, and I just said it a little bit earlier, monkeypox has been around in the United States since 1958.
Right.
Now you think, and it's closely related to the smallpox, which we already have a vaccine for, right? That is given to every child at birth, right? But what you're not understanding is these vaccines are going to do minimal to mitigate the damage, right? Yeah, this vaccine will make it so that you may not die from it.
All right.
But you won't catch it. And yeah, I can't play it there, but I heard this these interviews with these people who had it, right? And they were describing, right? One person said it's like somebody took a razor blade and went under your skin, and then on top of that razor blade took a toothbrush and just was going back and forth.
Dang.
One person said it felt like sitting on shards of glass. Like, the way that people are describing the pain that is caused by monkeypox is like they happen to make up crazy stuff to even come close to comparing it. Why? Because this is a punishment. And I don't know if, you know what I mean, how you know, most people feel about it, but like if you punishing somebody, they should be around for the punishment, right? This is a punishment for your actions. You ain't gonna just die real quick, real easy. No, you have to suffer. You're going to have to suffer. Why? Because you won't follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, right? And let's see. There you go. Monkeypox is part of the same family of viruses as smallpox. It often begins with flu-like symptoms and the swollen lymph nodes, then progresses to a rash. Typically, illnesses typically last 2 to 4 weeks, and it can spread through intimate physical contact, touching personal items such as clothing or linen, skin-to-skin contact with a rash, scab or bodily fluids, or respiratory droplets spread through kissing or coughing. Listen, this hit these other nations. And if you weren't close enough to be intimate with them, and you weren't close enough to be kissing and rubbing skin to skin with them, then there's no way a Black, Hispanic, and Native American can catch it. This is how it's transmitted, right? And this is why I said, you know what I mean, we need to follow the law, statutes, and manners and stay away from these other nations. Be separate, be whole, right? And so right now we're going to switch over real quick before we get out of class, and we'll go over some words, some vocabulary for our Lashwan Kadash. All right, sticking with the same topic, we're going over different words dealing with different words that are medically related, right? They're medical words. let's go over these words and all right. So, first word we got is the word for healer, right? This is the word we would use for a doctor, right? And in Hebrew, it is rawapa'ah. Rawapa'ah, right? So, and that in the Strong's Concordance is H7495, right? And you will see that in there, it is just rapa'ah, right? Now, of course, we've gone over, you know what I mean, in previous classes, that, you know what I mean, when you are talking about a person, or you're or you're making a word into a either a personal name or a descriptor of a person, right? One of the ways you do that is add a y after the very first sound in the word, right? All right. So the next word we got is the word for nurse, right? Which is yanak. Yanak. Right? Ya, na, and kwa. Alright, na and kwa are connected. Yeah, na and kwa are connected, so it's yanak. Next word we got up is the word for sick. Alright. Sick. And the word for sick in the Hebrew is kala. Alright. Kala. Right. And you'll find that in the Strong's at number 2470. 2470. All right, that's where you get the word for sick, which is khala. All right. Now the word for disease is machala, right? Machala, right? And so, if we Salaki, I just realized I didn't put that up there. Salaki, give me one moment. So if we look at the last two words, right, and we use what we have already, gone over, I believe it's I know it's an original one in there, but I believe there's a refresher, a revision of the prefixes and suffixes for words, right? So in the Hebrew, disease, as if you break down that word, would be of sick.
right? Because of or from sick, right? Because ma as a prefix, right, at the beginning of the word means of or from, right? And it's attached to the word khala, which is the word before that, which means sick, right? Next word we got up is ill, right? To be ill. Alright. And that is the wa in the Hebrew. Da, wa, and ha. Right? And that is H738, right? Now, you know what I mean? You may wonder, you know what I mean, what the difference between, sick and ill is, right? So we would use the word sick as like a short-term thing, right? The cold, the flu, right? Something like that, right? Ill is that's where you're more so talking about cancer, or where you're talking about AIDS, HIV, like these diseases that you get, and once you got them, that's pretty much it. Like, of course they're making a lot of headway in things like cancer and HIV, but the truth of the matter is those are illnesses, not sicknesses, and those are things that you're going to be dealing with the rest of your life. All right, so that's the difference between what a sickness and an illness is, right? Next word we got up is ointment. All right, and ointment is raquak, right? Raquak. Now, raquak, right, is an ointment in the vein of something like a Vicks vapor rub, right? Because a lot of people don't understand, like in the Bible, what we did for medicines are more so akin to they're more so akin to what we call holistic nowadays, right? So, like, for example, right, in Tobit, right, when he got his rib and she had that demon, you know what I'm saying, and he knew the exact right things to burn, you know what I mean, to get that demon out of there, right? What it was is what's now known as aromatherapy, right? Like, these certain scents and fragrances, once they combine and you breathe them in, they create a reaction in your brain, and this happens afterwards, right? It's not magic. Right, it was not. That scripture in the Bible was not talking about an angel teaching somebody how to do magic. He was teaching him aromatherapy, right? And it's a very, very powerful thing, and it's, again, it looks at medicine in a different way, right? Especially when in a time where dosing was irregular, right? Different methods tended to work better, right? and that was one of the ways was with an ointment, and also with burning things such as what happened in Tobit, right? And they're both a version of what we now call aromatherapy, right? The other word that if you look up the word ointment, again, and that is Strong's entry number 7545. Right. Now, normally, right, when you look up the word ointment, I just wanted to make sure I put this in here, right? Because normally when you look up the word ointment, right, it's not requach, right? It's mashacha, right there, which is H4888, right? And that ointment specifically is not talking about something that's used for medicine, right? That ointment is a different type of ointment. I'll get you the definition for that one. That ointment is a consecrated portion, right? An anointing oil, right? So what you see at each of the schools, that when the brothers get raised up, that too is an ointment, right? But it's not a medical ointment, and so when we are using the words, right, we got to make sure that we use the right word for obviously what we're using it for. All right. All right. The next word up is well. All right. As well, like general overall wellness, things like that, right? And that is in the Hebrew yatab. Alright. Yatab. It is H3190. Alright. And that is the meaning for well. Alright. Yeah. How you feel? You know, if you're feeling well, it would be your time. All right. All right. Now we're gonna go over. Real quick, I'm gonna put up a couple more words, and these are more specific, directly to exactly the subject of monkeypox and your COVID-19s, right? All right. All right, so next up, we have sickness, right? Now, this is a very specific sickness, right? Tazarai, right? This sickness is a sickness in the skin, right? We use it for any type of skin disease, especially leprosy, right? All right, so that's the word we will use for a leper or a skin disease itself, right? Is tazarai, right? Next word we got up is wound, right? Wound, and that is patazai in the Hebrew, right? Pa, taza, I, patazai, right? It's H6482, right? Next word we got up, all right? It's fever, right? All right, this is the exact same word from the scripture before, right? And right, and so and in the Hebrew, it's quadachath, right? All right, and that is for a fever, right? Again,